I remember the past, Ibitayo, when it comes to Nigerian soccer team. I remember in 2013 Nations Cup and other Nations Cup in the past, we've seen different brands, different personalities come out to sponsor or to promise the team, monies. But I'd like to ask you, what do you make of this, and how much of how come it's something we're used to in Africa? I mean, when it comes to football, motivation, financial motivation is very key. But this is coming so interesting.
Yeah, it's the Super Eagles. It's the biggest brand in Nigeria when it comes to sports. No other brand comes close. And once they do well, Nigerians have that feel-good factor. And you see, this is just one of many. Trust me, once they get to the final, we expect other brands, other important personalities to start their promises. And it's like I said, 2013, we saw the amount of promises they got. Whether they recouped everything, I don't know. That's a different ballgame. But this is a very reputable man. Of course, one of the richest in the country. And he's coming out to say, look, he watched, the picture shows he watched the game. He was quite impressed. And I'm sure Nigerians have been impressed. And he's saying to himself, these guys have made me happy. I have so much money. Okay.
Let's give it to them.
The only
opium, the only high that Nigerians have is football. That's the truth.
Yeah, true.
It brings everybody together. It makes everybody happy. There's a smile on every Nigerian's face right now.
Not even the Tigers?
No. Male football, okay? Yeah, the Tigers always bring us
the thing about the Tigers, even Super Falcons, it's a pocket of population. It's, percentage of the population. With the Super Eagles, it's the whole country. I don't know how they do it, but it's the whole country.
In a North African nation, I think Algeria or Tunisia or something, it was passed as a bill in their assembly that, listen, if you're a foreign company in our country and you're a foreign company, you must pick one sport by force and put 1% or 2% of your profits yearly into that sport. But naturally, Chinese companies pick table tennis. But where I'm going to know is that, don't forget something. You said we used to do it in Africa. In some countries, it's called social responsibility. You must actually purposely give it to the Super. So if BUA had been told from the beginning of the year, listen, you must find the Super something. They do well or they don't do well, from your profit, he has to do it. But in Nigeria, it's a choice. And we're happy people like BUA are actually here to actually say, good. Guys, it's like giving candy to a kid. If these guys see this incentive, it just might.
Let's talk about the bonus now.
Okay. Well, when the good is going, we know how things are in Nigeria.
True.
But all the persons are also saying, not like they don't deserve these monies, but our facilities are decaying at the moment. The next generation of players do not have the very best, both in different parts of Nigeria. Maybe just the Gosola Pabio Stadium. Lagos has over 7 teams that play both in the NNL, the MPFL and the NLO, sharing just one stadium, the Mobolaji Johnson Arena. If these corporate bodies are coming to say, we want to, motivate the Super Eagles to win the trophy, why can't they also try to...
You're forgetting something. I think people rate Vesterhoff as one of the best coaches Nigeria ever had, or still ever has. But I've always said Vesterhoff is a better marketer for me than a coach. And you ask me why. Vesterhoff was able to bring guys from our league, our national league, and then he called his contacts and got them clubs. Eintracht Frankfurt, Ajax, he was able to put them there. Now, they came back to him a cooked rice. They were done. So he came back, and it was less stress on him. And as you have rightly said, I think we are just cutting the tree. We're not going to the roots at this point. Why give these guys so much money? If we had that kind of money to spare, like you rightly said, take care of our facilities in Nigeria. National Stadium is an eyesore.
You can't fault the private individual.
I'm not doing that. Okay. I'm not doing that.
What policies do we put in place? You gave an example of one of the northern countries doing that. You have to have a policy in place.
True.
10%, 1%, 2% of your profit. When you get that money, what do you do with that money too? That's another thing entirely. So you can even tax them at 1% of their profit and still not use the money for that. So it's the government's job. We always say this, provide an enabling environment. Look at Morocco now. All roads leads to Morocco. Did they announce that one billionaire in Morocco built that stadium? It was done by the Moroccan government. It's a long-term policy. They will benefit of it eventually because the facility will not be closed. It will be used for different events.
The 2030 World Cup is around the corner.
Tourism drives the economy too. They know what they are doing. So what policy have we put in place to help?
And to think that we have government officials visiting Morocco for this AFCON, members in the Senate.
Visiting Morocco since 10 years ago.
The truth be said, let me give an example of what I've seen. I heard, I don't work for the Lagos State government, but I heard that it was a particular government official who actually traveled abroad. I don't know what country he went to. And he went around a bit and then came back and sold the BRT idea to the government in Lagos. And most other states in Nigeria too have bought that idea too when they're working on their BRT too. So what I mean is that our officials go there. But the question is, do they go there to work? And part of work is to sightsee and see what I can do to my country. They all go to, all our officials have gone to Old Trafford before, they've gone to the Emirates Stadium before, they've been there. They know how things work. Are they willing to do it? If they get the money today, are they willing to do it rightly?
I think the angle again is the willingness. I mean, we have
exactly.
And no wonder in Nigeria we have awards for sports-loving governor. Because I mean, if a governor likes sports, it's a plus. If he doesn't like sports, well, I mean, look at
it shouldn't be so. It should be a matter of policy. It should be a matter of policy. What policies? Look, no matter how terrible a leader you have, if the policies and the constitution, I mean, restricts him to some certain extent, he can't do more than the constitution or allow him to do. So we have to put strong laws in place that will ensure that these facilities are. The country like Rabat Stadium, before Rabiu himself left, he had this contract he signed that this company is going to maintain
for 10 years.
He expired. The next governor in charge.
10 years.
And to think that, because I stayed in New York for over 4 years, and I can tell you, I stayed close to the stadium. Just about 3 minutes walk from the stadium. The lights does not go off. Diesel runs 24 hours, and there's maintenance every day.
That's how it ought to be.
I mean, there was a time that there was encroachment on the pitch. They did a political event, and less than 2 weeks is.
Do Nigerians realize that when Arsenal wants to play, they call it the Emirates Stadium because the stadium is being managed by the Emirates company, Etihad.
So you can sign a deal with this brand.
Yeah, of course. Name the stadium. Name me the company. Blah 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 stadium.
So you can be able to
now 10 year name.
Yeah,
10 years.
Well, interesting times ahead, but we know that this financial motivation will be a big boost for the players. And some of the players who find themselves in this team might be counting themselves lucky. I mean, especially the likes of Uzor, who had been away from the team for a while, returned now to the team, and the team is already in the semi-finals. You look at also young players making, the AFCON for the first time, including Musa Mohammed, who also got an invite to this team. I've not really seen much of him, but maybe he might also get a minute in this competition. But let's move on now to our next story. A sad one for Nigerian Super Eagles. Captain Wilfred Ndidi will miss Nigeria's 2025 Africa Cup of Nations semi-final against host Morocco after accumulating 2 yellow cards in the knockout stage. The midfielder was first booked during the round of 16 against Mozambique before receiving another caution in the quarter-final victory against Algeria, triggering an automatic 1-match suspension. And Ndidi's absence is a major blow for Nigeria, given his key role in shielding defense and controlling midfield play throughout the tournament. While Stanley Nwabali and Moses Simon were also cautioned against Algeria, they remain available. Head coach Eric Chell must now reshuffle his midfield, maybe with Prophet Onyedika, but of course we'll see what he does. But let's talk about Wilfred Ndidi. Has a good game so far in this tournament, but the yellow cards. Yesterday's game, I mean, they were needless, especially for the cards that they got. For Wilfred Ndidi not missing against Morocco.
He didn't get a card for a rough tackle. That's why it's annoying. That's why it's annoying. I mean, he went down. I think he was feeling the strain, and the referee wasn't in a good mood. Wasn't in a good mood at all. Any player that went down got a card. Nwabali went down, got a card. I mean, he felt it was time wasting tackle.
I don't think it was.
But you got injured a few minutes later.
I don't know. The ref wouldn't know. And the ref said, okay, I take back the card.
Yes, but I wish I could find it. This is a referee that has been known for being trigger happy. The guy they shoot at will. He shoot at will. The referee, he shoot at will. This is a referee that has held.
There were times he would have given Nigeria, for instance, Bright Osai Samuel. He escaped the yellow card yesterday.
Which was surprising
because he even pushed the player. Yes, it was an altercation, but he pushed the player, and the referee somehow did not give him a yellow card.
This referee is, let's say, is unpredictable. This is a referee that's held a player on the jugular. I don't know if I can find that. Yes, he held the player after giving a card. The player was still arguing and he held him on the jugular.
Maybe we need Oyo to break the jugular.
Yeah, I'm not scared to fight you if I have to. That's the kind of coach that we had. And surprisingly, he was quite, from other matches I've seen him officiate, he was quite lenient in our match. to Super Eagles. And I'll give you an example. The reason why the Algerians actually wanted to fight him or beat him up
They have an history with
was
him.
because they felt that, come, listen, you were not as mean as we thought you would be. You were fair to these guys.
But if it was any meaner, the Algerians in the first 20 minutes would have gotten the red
Of
card.
course.
That's the tackle on. I'm trying to remember the crazy sliding tackle.
It was terrible. But I think he controlled the game well. But for Ndidi, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt because it brings a certain kind of leadership. And I like what the coach did. Immediately, he took off Onyeka too, because Onyeka was also had a yellow card going into that game. Immediately, he took off Onyeka too. I can't lose both of you. I can't lose both of you.
I can't afford to lose both, yeah.
Going into the semi-final. I already lost in Ndidi. Onyeka, 2 goals up. Onyeka, okay, let's rest it for next game.
Let's look at the team. How do we solve this issue? Now, Ndidi is off. There's an Onyeka, but we know he's been playing 2 defensive midfielders, although one goes and comes back, which is Onyeka. Can Rafael Onyedika and Onyeka play together?
Yeah. They have to.
Why not?
They have to.
They can?
Listen, the truth be said,
have
Eric
to.
Chell has done something most Nigerian football fans, we journalists have noticed it, but Nigerian football fans haven't particularly noticed it. And the truth is, he has been able to ensure that he balances the team. When I mean balance the team is that he knew there would be days like this, where players like Ndidi would not be available. Players like Chukwueze would not be available. He knows there will be days like this. He was a player. So he has worked against days like this. Listen, you'll be surprised at the gel between Onyedika and Onyeka.
And also maybe Musa Mohammed will now come into the match day squad.
Maybe.
But if you follow what the trend has been going with Super Eagles, someone like Onyedika has had enough playing time. I mean, someone who is a non-starter is had enough playing time, and that helps. It's not like he's going to throw him at the deep end and say, "Oh, yeah, go and start." He started the game already. Played yesterday. He was the man that came in for Ndidi yesterday. So I mean, it's like for like.
Would you trust Ahmed Musa at this point? Honestly.
No, he's not in the squad.
What did he ask now?
Yes. No, would you trust him I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, what I'm saying is the next person that will be on the bench. I mean,
he should be on the bench.
It is out, so
anything happen.
I mean, well, let's see what happens. It is out of this game. We're playing against the host nation. We'll be coming to that very soon. But trust me, it's Nigeria playing against every kind of team thrown at them. The fans. I mean, we could see the game against Algeria. Algerians had the most of the supportership in that stadium. I heard they bought majority of the tickets, but it wasn't still enough as Nigeria got the win. But let's now wrap up our updates at the moment and talk about the Tanzania's Taifa Stars. They have returned home to a hero's welcome after a historic outing at the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations, reaching the knockout stage for the first time. Now, the team arrived safely from Morocco aboard a presidential aircraft arranged by President Samia Suluhu Hassan, underlying national pride in their achievements. Now, Tanzania bowed out in the round of 16 after a narrow 1-0 defeat to host Morocco in Rabat, pushing the Atlas Lions deep into the second half before conceding. Now, the Taifa Stars progressed as one of the best third-place teams, finishing Group C with 2 points from matches against Nigeria, Uganda, and Tunisia. Ibitaya, let me come to you now. Now, it's a celebration with small wins.
Yes, sir.
I mean, why?
This is not.
This is small win. This is not a small win.
So to some countries like Egypt, countries like Cameroon,
even
Nigeria, let's say
you fly home direct from Morocco. Don't come without coming back.
I mean, so but for them, this is the first time they're getting to the knockouts. I also remember when the former coach of Nigeria, Daniel, not Daniel Amokachi, Imana Amuneke, when he took them to the first AFCON in how many years?
The first time for AFCON, yeah.
It was also something they celebrated.
Yeah.
But what does this mean for Tanzanian football? I mean, they have good clubs.
It's progress. It's progress. A big progress for them. Come to the tournament. And remember, they got kicked out by the host. And it wasn't that it was a blowout. They held their own. The country is proud of how the team played. They knew they were going to lose against Morocco. I mean, it was no biggie they lost against Morocco. But how did you lose? Did you go down fighting? That was what they did. So, I mean, the country is proud. They see a core they can build on. They see progress. And you have to celebrate progress.
Honestly speaking, if you ask me my opinion,
they were very, very
I have been fortunate to have been there before.
Okay.
And I'm fortunate to be in Nigeria, and I live in Nigeria. The truth be said, they have clubs, national clubs. They are better structured than Nigerian clubs, if you ask me.
Simba SC,
for me, they are better.
Younger boys.
They are better structured. Our clubs are richer. We have lesser structures.
Our goalkeeper plays in
Exactly. So, you know, they are actually better structured for me. Their clubs there. This means that, okay, the president is seeing progress. He's seeing a better team tomorrow. A better tomorrow for us. I'm sure the government will now look into their clubs now and work harder on them. Because there's a future now.
And I think most of the players they have are indigenous players who play in their local league.
Most of them play in the Southern African region. They're either playing in the country or playing in the South African league. And so
Angola, you know.
And the clubs, I mean, some of our clubs are above.
Rivers United lost against Yanga years ago.
Yes,
I remember when Mayoko Charles was allegedly hit by...
better structure.
There is no MPFL player with our Super Eagles. They have players from Tanzanian league with our Super Eagles. What are you saying?
Interesting. All right. I mean, wonderful feat right there from the president of Tanzania, of course, welcoming back, you know, presidential aircraft. This is not even a commercial aircraft or maybe just a charter, but a presidential aircraft to bring the team back to the country. We don't know what will be arranged for the Super Eagles if we get to, you know, win the trophy or win the, against or progress from the semi-finals to the final and then win the trophy. I remember in 2013 when we wanted to play against Cote d'Ivoire, we heard that they were already steaming the plane because they thought Nigeria would lose, you know, against Cote d'Ivoire. But Nigeria won that game and progressed on to the final. And that's quarterfinals against.
On a Sunday, back. Beautiful.
You can't forget. Even you can imagine what Keshi did that day. He made my day. Not only because he spoke English and I spoke French at the point, but the truth is that the coach of the Ivorian national team said, listen, if you are giving me 11 players, a list of 11 players, I won't have Sunday Mba as a threat to me. And that was the threat. That
right. Sunday Mba a threat. Who will be the Sunday for the Super Eagles in the next few days?